Hello, this is Tom Cloud with my bi-monthly precious metals market update. We're going to jump around and look at different things that people have written in about, called in about. And let me just start with saying, here we are, 9/11. And we look back at 9/11 many, many years ago. And now we look and say what happened that day. And we see that gold that one day went from 276 to 287, a 6% gain with that chaos, and brought gold up. Gold now has gone up 9 times since 9/11/11 when we had the bombing. So what do you look now with everything going on in Israel and Kuwait and Ukraine and all over the world? We've got disruptions and war and talking about war. Those that study the Bible know what all this means. It's could be end times. Who knows? I sure don't know. But I think the key right now that of all the people I'm talking to is they're wanting to find a diversification that they're confident will go through some bad times. So if you're putting a percentage in gold, percentage in stocks, bonds, real estate, foreign currencies, different things that go against the dollar, then you're diversified. You've done there. You're not in a position to be offensive and try to take risk, but it lets you have a peace of mind that you actually have that diversified confidence that the portfolio you're sitting on right now, you're not worried about. But what right now is where most people are calling is comparing this to 2008, 2009, when the stock market went down 38% and gold went up 12%. Gold was the only investment that went up those 2 years. And people tend to forget that is the world currency when you get to it. That's when they head for safety. That's when I've built a business over 48 years of doing this. It's fixing where people can come and diversify, have something that's liquid anywhere in the world, something that's recognized anywhere in the world. And then it just gets down to, you want to hold it in your possession, or do you want to take advantage of the storage that I've provided, the lowest storage rates in the world. There's nobody even close. I'm talking about, no matter how big that company you see on TV is, first of all, their commissions are out of sight, but the storage rates are triple to quadruple what mine are. So for the ones that want to use it like a bank account, where you can sign, we can send you what and sell and have you sign it and sell it and wire the money to your account. So it is something that we're doing a lot more of, because there's a lot more people coming in this market, especially new people that haven't been in it. They're finally taking the advice of banks and doing what banks are saying. January 2023, banks could start buying gold and count it on their balance sheet at full value. Since that date, we've seen gold go from, I think it was 2023, it was 1823, 1,823. We're 20 months later, here we are at 2520. It's been a 42, 43% up in only 20 months, averaging 2% a month. We've had some months at 3 and some at 1. We're averaging a little over 2% per month for 20 months. And now we're seeing Bank of America last week telling their clients to buy gold. A bank telling their clients to buy gold. And you need to have a percentage in it. What percentage? You need to deal with you and your financial expert, or certainly I can help you talk about gold and silver, but primarily we're talking about what real money is, and that's gold. Money printing, something completely misunderstood by investors. If you're printing money through things that are voted on by Congress or Senate, that's money created and it has no payback. That's the reason they are, every what party you are is in control. You come back and you want to help the people that helped you get, so you find their pet and you contribute money to that thing, and you find yourself sending money to Israel, Kuwait. No, I keep saying Kuwait, I mean Ukraine, and you send it there, and this money just goes on, and there's no interest. It just created, it devalued your currency. Look at what Japan and China, the two biggest owners of our debt, we're up now to $34 trillion. And this we do have to repay. We are paying interest on that. In fact, every 100 days, we're losing $1 trillion. Another $1 trillion added to the deficit. We watched this thing go from 12 trillion up now to it's just 34 trillion and growing like crazy. No relief in sight. So how long do you think it's going to go where the U.S. Treasuries, Treasury bills, Treasury notes, Treasury bonds are going to be an answer? It's not an answer now, and it's sure not going to be an answer when that currency crashes. Look what's going on. We're seeing Japan 3 or 4 weeks ago make their biggest liquidation ever of U.S. Treasuries. They don't want to be in U.S. debt. Who does? It's debt. It's exactly what you're calling it. It's trouble. And we're way overspending what we're taking in. If you take in $3.5 trillion and you spend $5.5 trillion, then you've got a $2 trillion deficit that starts right away with around 3% interest on it. Right away, 3% on 34 trillion is another trillion in interest just for the year, an extra trillion. So there's an explosion coming. I hope you're on the right side of it, because it is going to be this money printing that we've got, even with Biden bragging that they've been such good stewards. They haven't taken the last thing that Harris broke the thing where it was 50-50, and they were doing it. She was proud to break and just authorize this money, billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars, nothing to back it. She just said, yes, I'm breaking the tie and we're going for it. So we're out there with that. And then we look at unfunded obligations. This is the one that kills you. Go to debtclock.org and just peruse around for about 30 minutes and see what kind of condition this country is in. Dollar printing, we talked about the deficit budget, unfunded obligations. Okay, they come up and say that I've got another 10 years that they're going to pay me Social Security. I've got another 10 years. So they got unfunded. They haven't funded it. Where is it going to come from? They're going to print it, and they're taking out and charging those that aren't receiving it, but those that are still putting in. So look at the unfunded obligations. If you just pay me 10 more years, my Social Security, and you multiply that by, millions of baby boomers that were born from 1945 to 1955. And you look at the obligations this country's made to that, and it can't be done. It cannot be done without a crash. It's just, are you on the right side of the crash? Are you out before the crash? Are you watching it? Are you diversified, confident that the way you're set up is the way to be? I can tell you right now, if you don't have gold and silver, but gold in particular, which is real money, you are going to really regret it. I've done this 48 years. I've got a gut feeling what's going on. And I'll just say to you, that's the most important move you can make. Especially if you think banks would be buying gold under the Basel III if they didn't think it was a fantastic place to put their money. Not stocks, not bonds, not even real estate. They can't use those. They can only use treasuries of the G7 and gold. That's it. And that's it. So what do these banks know that you don't know? So hopefully they're giving you a hint as to what you need to be buying partially in that. Interest rates, we're going to watch, and we're already seeing people proud that interest rates possibly are going to go down this month. But what does that mean? It means the economy can take a little stimulation. This great economy overnight was not so great. It's not so great now. We find out. So now we're talking about the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates. What'll happen then? Inflation kicks in. And this is the one that most people are worried about. Because, I mean, even if Trump wins or Harris wins, both of these are going to have inflation. So one of them may have 5, one of them may have 6. I don't know the numbers. But I can tell you, both of them are going to have inflation. Both of them. And you're going to see that coming. And you're going to see the middle class, as always, get shellacked. None of this stuff that you're hearing the politicians writing about. No, you can't do that. Inflation is going to run up and it's going to kill the middle class. I can tell you right now. And all that money that's created, that I talked about earlier, ends up in, people's hands that don't need it. The super wealthy are the ones that end up with it. But I think you just got to watch and do it. What we try to do today is cover that, interest rates, because we know if inflation starts, they're going to have to raise interest rates right back. And that's definitely going to happen. We all know it's going to happen. But we just got to be ready and play smart with our investments. But how in the world, I do a lot of consulting work for families and large investors, first trying to get a percentage that they're happy with, that they feel good with. We can go back to the Bible and find, we can go to Ecclesiastes 11, verse 2, and say, we can see that we were told to diversify, to divide our wealth 7 or 8 different directions. It worked then and it'll work now. You just got to have the forethought to know what percentages to put into what basket. And that is your homework. Because when you get into gold, there's all kinds of, options and coins and bars and all that. And we can discuss that with you. The ones of you haven't met Trip on the telephone. Trip Cloud is my grandson, and he finished college back in the spring. So he's been with us since March, I think it is. So anyway, if you call in, you talk to Catherine, my daughter, or me, or Trip. But we're there for you, and have been for 48 years. It's hard to believe. 2 years away from having this company, 50 years. It doesn't seem possible to watch how fast this has gone by. Silver, I didn't want to spend a lot of time this time. In 2 weeks, we're going to talk about silver, but I want to get the major thing out there now, because the whole things I talked about today, you need to do. You need to look at debtclock.org and look at that. You need to feel diversified, confident in what you're doing. You need to get money like the banks are. You need to look at the deficit budget and realize it can't go on like this much longer. There's no way it can. It can't keep doubling to $68 trillion. It will. Nothing's done, but there's going to be a lot done after the election in the United States. You're going to see stuff you're not going to believe, including new currencies. You're going to see the BRIC nations become much more in the middle of it. You're going to see probably a new Chinese currency called the yuan, backed by gold. Don't know what percentage yet. Would it be 50%, 100%, 25%? I'm not sure. But it's pretty strong that it is going to happen. And the petrodollar. We go back to Henry Kissinger, Richard Nixon, 1971. We sent Kissinger over for that, and that's what we did. We went over there and made this currency that we would take care of them, protection, and they would do all their currency trades in the U.S. dollar. Now, in the last 2 months, they're saying, no, we don't want the dollar. We don't want to do business in the dollar. We're going to do business in the Chinese yuan, or maybe even a digital currency. But if the United States goes to a digital currency, it's going, for us holding gold, it's going to be a free fall 20, 25, 30% gain. So right now, I'm telling you, with gold at 25.25, 2,225, if it makes a breakout for 6%, that's going to take it to 2,700. And that's what I think will happen the rest of this year. Some of my friends are in the industry talking about 3,000, which is 10% up from here, instead of 6% that I'm predicting that'll bring gold up to 2,700. But eventually it's going to be at some even bigger numbers than that. But anyway, it's great to be back on the air with you, and also spend some time in the prayer closet seeking wisdom, because that's where you're going to find it with help from the good Lord. So hopefully we can do that, and I'll look forward in 2 weeks to talking to you about silver. If you want to reach us, you can reach us at 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812. Trip Cloud can also help you open up a IRA. He's doing a tremendous job of expanding our IRA business. And give him a call, and he can walk you through what you need to do. You know, especially baby boomers coming out, you need to have 2 IRAs. The 401k you get away with to come out and roll your stocks and bonds to one IRA, and your gold and silver, platinum and palladium to another. So that's what you want to do with your IRA, is to get you 2 different ones where you can play both the stocks and bonds as well as the precious metals. So once again, it's glad to be back, and we'll see you in 2 weeks with this bi-monthly update. This is Tom Cloud signing off.